Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
It's a blessing to be in this position, and we're just thankful to be here. We're thankful to have the opportunity to go out there and play in front of the 12 man.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
It's been special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
How many people do you believe? Hey, Buchanan, how are you?
Hey, Nuño, I'm good.
Good. How many people do you believe watched the video that Texas A&M posted of the scrimmage this weekend and did a Zapruder film analysis breaking down each play? Do you think people did that?
Some did. But, you know.
Did you do that?
No, I haven't even seen the video.
Would you like to see the video?
Yeah, I'd probably like to see. Yeah, I mean, how long is it?
It's like 42 seconds. It's not long at all.
42 seconds. Yeah, I'll watch
it's not
that.
a full thing.
If you're going to say 42 minutes, no, I'm out.
Now, I want to say this.
I'm sure all the things are good. All the things are positive.
Yeah, they're fine.
Because
he's already started. Disregard. So you can only extract so much information from any video that a team posts. But I might know somebody who watched each play and slowed it down to see whose number was what. And maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I did it. And again, you can only extract so much information. But I thought we could kind of just go over a few of the things seen on this video, if you'd be so inclined, OB.
Sure, why not? I'm inclined. Hey, before we go any further, can I throw something out?
Please, I'll catch it.
Happy birthday, Irma. You're a great wife. You're a wonderful mother. Let's make it a great day. Enjoy it. Happy birthday, my love.
Happy birthday, Irma.
I know she's watching, so I wanted to get that in there.
I needed you to look at the other camera, though.
Which camera?
I don't know. I think you were looking at the wrong camera.
That's all right.
It's all right. Well,
okay,
hey,
now
Irma, happy birthday.
Let's get back to football.
So it opens up with Marcel Reed. Scrimmage number 1.
Okay, I think he's going to be the starter.
I believe he is going to be the starter as well.
I'm going to Carl on that limb.
Did you, by the way, Reese Nygren, did you Zapruder film this as well or no?
I watched it. I didn't slow it down.
Yeah, I slowed it down.
Don't lose your head over this.
Okay. An Amari run.
Amari run. Okay. I've seen him run well.
A Bussy catch.
I've seen him make catches.
Miles O'Neill throws to what I believe is Ashton Bethel Roman, number 3.
Yeah, I've been interested in Ashton Bethel Roman.
Okay. Then a couple of plays. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Like fast. I couldn't tell. More Amari. Okay. Jordan Lockhart celebrating.
Okay.
Micah Riley blocking.
All right.
Des Ricks smacking his helmet. Let's go. You know, like.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Okay,
Like,
not because
he probably made a big play. Like, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
There he goes.
Kelshawn Johnson, catch by the sidelines.
All right.
Jamarian Morrow with a nice run.
Okay.
I say nice because, I think that was it. This is almost timing up perfectly. Jacob Zeno to a diving Kelshawn Johnson.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry,
Did he catch it? Did he catch it?
Yeah, of course he did.
So he didn't just dive.
No, he dove it. He dove. I mean, he caught it and he dove it, if that makes sense. E.J. Smith, double deuce. With a run.
I heard his dad was pretty good.
I heard
the same number.
He played in the SEC, believe it or not.
I knew that.
Okay. Mario Craver, catch from Marcel.
Okay.
God, that was some great breaking news. I mean, you miss probably 7-8 minutes of the biggest intel we've ever given. Adonis Curry. Who would have known that would have been the...
I did it.
Do you think the folks across the street stop breaking down video that doesn't really matter? I guess that was my point. My point of going through it is people are going to go through it, and that's just what we do because we're starving for football, right? But nothing to see. They only posted things, quick glimpse, just to show that they were working.
Yeah.
So let's not overreact and extract too much information from that.
In fact, I don't think you can extract any information other than so-and-so's out there practicing.
And they were.
Yeah. Because highlights, it's not even necessarily highlights, but, you're not going to, if it's A&M or if it's Texas or LSU or anybody, if you're working for that, if you're putting out video for your school, and you're employed by them, and this is, you're not going to put video of somebody missing a tackle, missing a block, dropping a pass. You're not going to. So, but it's good to see them out there. And yes, it's a little taste of what's coming.
When I worked in the NFL, or I covered the NFL, I should say, they would tell us oftentimes shoot tight shots at practice. Don't show everything. I haven't heard that at A&M. I mean, maybe they told us.
Yeah,
but tight shots, because you don't want to see everything that's developing.
Right.
We don't want, because there are programs and teams that will watch all forms of media just the way fans do to get their intel, to find ways to break down what the opposing team is trying to do.
Yes. Coaches have been known to spy and try to find out any way they can to get a little extra knowledge. And so, yes, the tight shots is so, hey, if you're working on a certain formation, don't want anybody to know you're working on that.
Do you think Lane Kiffin's ever watched TexAgs Live to get some intel on Jimbo or TexAgs Radio?
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
if somebody would do it, who would do it in the SEC right now?
Everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Sark, how are you, sir?
SEC is the most. Now,
hey, Shane Beamer. Hey.
Back in the 70s, there was this big scandal, accusation. Darryl Roy was accusing Oklahoma of spying on their practices, and then years later, Larry Lacewell, who became the Cowboys, something said, "Yeah, we were. I was there in a hotel with binoculars." So yeah, that goes on. You look at the thing just happened with Michigan,
right?
Of course, I would.
So typically, right now we're going around the room, but since we had the little breaking news situation where everybody who was those
we were broken.
We were broken. Power, and I think OB had a nice request. What song do you want to hear?
Well, it's Power.
Power, yeah. Let's hear the clean version of Power if we can here on TexAgs. I'm going to ask you a question. I was going to ask you two questions, but I'll maybe save one for tomorrow. Who is in greater need of a playoff-like season? Okay? I'm going to give you some coaches. You tell me, okay? Brian Kelly.
Okay.
Okay.
That's high on the list.
Mike Elko.
Okay.
Lane Kiffin.
All right.
Okay. Lincoln Riley.
Oh, okay.
Playoff like. Now, I'm not saying they have to make the playoffs, although that would be with 12 teams. But, who needs it the most from that group? I know our fan base needs it the most. Okay?
Yeah. From those four coaches.
But I'm talking which coach.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's Brian Kelly. I mean, he's at a place where they fired national championship coaches. And here he is. This is fourth year. And 10 wins aren't enough at LSU. They expect to be in the playoff and making a run at national championships. And, last year he was saying, hey, I'm always good in my third year. The third year is a big year. Look wherever I've been. And they had a nice year, but it was not to their standards. And then you also remember when we were at SEC Media Days, you had Matt Moscona from Baton Rouge on, and he was saying, hey, they went all in on the transfer portal to win this year. Okay. So I would think second on that list is probably Lincoln Riley. I wonder when USC doesn't start. But see, at USC, as much as they love football out there,
it doesn't mean more.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean as much. Maybe it will now that they're in the Big Ten. But they don't have thousands upon thousands of tailgaters at every single game.
Now, if we were to say fan base,
A&M needs it for mental health reasons.
Yeah, right. So A&M would be first on that list, in my opinion. I would say maybe still LSU too in that situation. I don't know. I feel like that they're. I don't want them to get the playoffs, but I'm saying like that fan base, as you mentioned a moment ago,
they're very demanding.
And
which, by the way, I think is great.
Lane Kiffin would be, or the Ole Miss fan base.
No,
they've been so close.
Yeah, maybe Ole Miss. Of those four, the fan bases, I think I get this feeling that Ole Miss wants to be a playoff caliber team. LSU and A&M need to.
Yeah.
And
you don't know if Ole Miss needs to.
Yeah, I think if
they kept on having these types of seasons, they're going to build a statue for Lane.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a pretty moribund program for most of their existence since 1960.
So Lane Kiffin, let's just, because every year there's rumors about him, leaves and goes to Florida. Let's just throw that out for a moment. What happens to Ole Miss? They get back to normal Ole Miss, which is good couple years, but Lane has been consistent good.
Yeah, yes. He's a very good football coach. I think USC probably regrets the day that they fired him. But I don't know. If he leaves, I think they'll have a hard time maintaining their current level of success.
Did you know this is TexAgs Live?
I did know that.
And we're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you knew that too. This hour, believe it or not, even with the power outage, is still the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Yep. A PG version of that hour, by the way. Typically, we hang out in an area right over there.
Yeah, but the Holistic Planning Cool Zone will travel. It'll go wherever you need to be. Wherever it's more of a frame of mind.
Yes, it's a vibe. It's a swagger, if you will.
A swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of so many things that the Holistic Planning can do for you.
Or just being cool.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Well, nothing's cooler than making money.
Yeah. And the phone number here to call the show. Go ahead. You can tell them.
979?
Yeah.
693?
Yep.
1150.
Yep.
Mine like a steel trap.
The Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Both of them.
Yeah, they do them both.
Yeah.
And do them both at a very high level.
Who's bringing the show?
David Garner's Jewelers.
David Garner's Jewelers.
That is the presenting sponsor.
The presenting sponsor.
Our dear friend.
Yes.
David in the gang, right? Yeah. David and Julia Gardner, the best.
I've bought stuff from them before.
As you should.
Yes.
As you say that on Irma's birthday. Anyway, let's go.
Not today.
Let's go around the room, left to right. Behind the glass is our friend Nick Savage, who, I got to say, had this happened on Friday, I would have been a little worried. Panicking Cade Bickham, who was not panicking on Friday, by the way. He handled it like a champ.
Did you lose power on Friday, too?
No. I'm saying had it happened on Friday, it might have been an issue.
Yeah,
you seemed very calm. We were watching you. Well, actually, I couldn't watch you in the beginning, but after a while.
It's equipment. It fails sometimes. What are you going to do? You can only work as fast as the equipment lets you. But we're back, I think, hopefully.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry that we cannot repeat that breaking news during that 8-minute stretch of non-radio. Like, if you were listening, congratulations. If not, sorry.
Yeah, but I haven't really been listening. I don't know what y'all been talking about, but
Thanks,
I know you started with the scrimmage notes, so I guess it's tough to break it down through a video. Like, yeah, exactly. But I guess the biggest positive is no injuries, right? Like that's the biggest win. So that's my takeaway on it.
Look, scrimmage just means we're closer.
Yeah, less than 3 weeks.
In my mind, it feels closer, as I said on Friday. But 2 weeks from today, we're actually going to have a game week series of shows.
Yes, we are.
Those are my favorite shows.
I'm going to be very busy that week.
So Jacob upstairs asked me if I was looking forward to the 7-day weeks. And this is my response to that. First off, we work in sports. Like, I recognize it's not a typical job. When we win, it doesn't feel like 7-day weeks. When A&M loses, it feels like a 30-day week.
Yeah.
And it just drains you. And that's because we love it so much, right?
It's really weird. It's like having kids in that, when you say the days go by slow, but the years go by fast, you feel like you're just working and the day's long and then you're like, hey, football season's over. Where'd it go?
Right.
So it's a labor of, what you're saying is when the Aggies are winning, look, it's always a labor of love. But when the Aggies are winning, it's a labor of true love.
I don't know where you were going with that, but I liked it.
True love.
I liked it.
Like me and Armita, whose birthday's today.
There you go. We were going to check in with Reese Nygren, but of course the breaking news took us away.
Yeah.
Sorry, Reese. We'll check in with you in a moment.
Acceptable.
OB?
Yeah.
1950 style advertisement for 1775.
Well, speaking of true love, who doesn't love Texas barbecue? I mean, everybody loves it, but if you want the true love, the true Texas
like
barbecue.
Ward Cleaver love?
I reckon.
Or sorry, what was her name? No, the dude was Ward, right?
Yeah.
Who was the lady?
June
Cleaver.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. June, July, August, September, it doesn't matter. If you want some great Texas barbecue on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, you go out to 1775. You're going to love it. You're going to truly love it.
Yeah. Pick 2 dishes. Go.
I'm going to have the pork ribs and the succulent brisket.
There you go. He's a carnivore. Their dedication, by the way, to their awesome food has earned them a Texas Monthly's top 100 barbecue joints. Call them up, 979-492-6241. That is 979-492-6241, or visit them at 1775txbbq.com. Hey everyone, David Nuño and Olin Buchanan and OB. Typically we start off the show in this section, and we call it the Holistic Planning Cool
The cool zone, yeah. It's pretty cool.
What do we know about holistic planning?
Well, a lot of cool stuff. For instance, holistic planning can help you with your investments.
I love that.
They can help you with your taxes. So
I don't like paying taxes.
You can get that money from your investments and they keep it. They'll help you keep it away from the government.
Yep.
Not all of it, but more of it. And then they'll even help you with your estate planning. When you're old like me, you got to make sure some of that money you made is there for when you want to retire and just enjoy the rest of your life.
You want your estate to be planned. But they also do something else.
Yeah, well, if you are, like, say, a sports fan, and you've always wanted to...
Everybody watching us, right?
Yeah. And you want to always dream to being an owner, well, in a certain way you can, because they will broker the deal for you to invest in pro sports.
Yeah, what you need to do is check out investinprosports.com. That's where you can get all the information if you want to invest in a team. I don't know what team. He'd probably try to buy the Cowboys. I'd try to buy a lot of the Houston teams. Whatever it may be, investinprosports.com. It is holistic planning, and we love hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Obi, I know you're a country guy, but this bops.
It really doesn't
slaps.
move me, but
it moves you. Come on,
doesn't.
Obi.
Unless I see the football team run out, and even then, what moves me is the team.
I know.
But and that dog running in front of everybody. Is she gonna have an eye patch?
I don't know, but I saw Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. There was it benign, right? Is that what they were reporting?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's amazing what they can do over there with animals. But anyway, I just thought the song was appropriate now that we have power again.
A couple things. So Gene says, what happened to us? Well, we had a power outage.
We did.
So just so everybody's wondering, but we're back to it. That's why we played that song. I'm going to read this because we need to get back on the clock. I'll probably talk for a second. I don't want to, but we're way off the clock. Dave in Edmond. Okay. You know that guy's a ray of sunshine. Just constantly in a great mood about Aggie athletics and Greg Sankey. Like,
you got to understand, he lives in Oklahoma.
Well, this is true. I mean, that guy is just roses, right? He says, believe it or not.
Okay.
This is shocking to me.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm like, as happy as a guy as this homeboy is, this is the least excited I have ever been for a season to start. I'm not going to lie. Okay, thank you for not lying. I appreciate that, by the way. The way we fell apart at the end of the season by coaching and players just really ticked me off. He used a different word.
Okay.
Well, that's surprising coming from Dave. I am very excited about the season. Why wouldn't I be excited about a team that returns a bunch of veterans, a team that has a quarterback who played very well at the end of last season? I know the Texas game. I get it. Okay? I know.
Because it wasn't just the Texas game. It was the Auburn game and the South Carolina game and the USC game. So I understand.
No,
Here it is.
I'm saying Marcel didn't play well in the Texas game, but I think he played well in the other games.
The reason he feels this way, and I understand, it's the old fable about crying wolf. A&M has cried wolf so many times that now they're to the point where people are, I'm ignoring the call. However, this might be the year the wolf shows up.
Here's what I say to that. That's bull crap, okay?
Or wolf.
It's bull crap. That is a defense mechanism just to make, see, I told you. How about enjoy things in life?
I think it's
going to rain eventually. Okay, it's sunny right now. Let's go. Let's go play ball.
Sometimes rain's good.
It depends on your grass situation, right? Yeah, that's true.
Look, it's okay. I understand. I really do understand the beaten down, trodden Aggie fandom, but it's okay to say, but this is the year.
He can't join us when we win at all. He cannot go to the parade.
Wrong.
I've spoken.
You can.
Nope.
You can't.
Not at the TexAgs parade.
You can.
No. Overruled.
When it happens, everybody's welcome. Because
Director of Content says no.
Director of Content is overruled. When it happens, all of you that have been so disappointed and downtrodden, that have given so much and gotten so little.
How about just be a human and recognize sometimes that emotion's okay?
You're all prodigal sons. We're going to put the ring back on you, put the cloak on you.
Who made you the commissioner of fanhood?
I've been around longer.
Yeah, well, this is true.
I understand how it is.
Yeah, that's true. You were there for the championship.
39.
You know what? You were a 17-year-old. You feel it.
I wish I'd been there. Because now I'd be setting a record for longevity.
My dad actually was alive for that. So he was 9 when Texas A&M won the national championship.
Well, you ought to get him on the show.
But look, I understand that feeling, but what a horrible way to fan. Just so the fall doesn't hurt as much. It hurts anyway. It all hurts.
I know. I know. I'm not. I understand expectations being tempered somewhat over what's happening, but it's a different coach, and it's not like A&M's never had good seasons. I mean, we got hosed over. The Aggies got hosed over in 2020. They should have been in the playoff.
But I guess my point is, I don't think we're saying A&M is a 10-11 win team.
They might be.
They might be, but I'm saying, like, what are your expectations for this team? Are you saying they're going to come, like for Dave, who's bragging about having season tickets during the Francione years.
Okay.
That's a long time ago, by the way. That's 20 years ago. Right? Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Goodness, what have I done with my life?
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, in 1995, when I was a freshman at A&M, I'd have to go back 20 years to talk about football back then to be proud. No, like, I'm talking about right now. What have you done for me lately? And
okay, Janet Jackson.
Never was a huge fan.
Not me neither. But anyway. Didn't mean to
just
interrupt your role.
My
like
role
John
is
Belushi in Animal House.
My role is this, like,
he's rolling.
We're not like, what would be a disappointing season? Would 8-4 be disappointing? For me, it would be. It's also where I kind of have them pegged right now. But I see a path, and if you can't see a path to 10-2 or better, then I don't.
8-4.
You listen to the show a lot, Dave, which means you love A&M sports.
8-4 is a cheese pizza, man. It's cheese pizza. In fact, if they go 8-4, the next Monday I'm going to order a cheese pizza and have it brought here on the.
See, Dave, now I know why you get blocked. I was at Cobb when we beat Bama. You don't know me, son. Okay, too much, Dave. Dave, blocked. Blocked. Don't actually block him.
Don't block.
He'll find another profile. He'll just literally block him for me.
I'm just saying this, Dave. I understand. However, Dave, it's okay to look forward to be enthusiastic about the year because maybe this is the year the wolf shows up.
By the way, the movie Dave, which sucked, better than his commentary.
I thought that was a good movie.
Actually, I think I did too.
Yeah.
Dave, your name's pretty good.
I don't know about the name.
He takes things like I'm really mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Dave.
But we understand, but it's okay. It's okay to be excited. You really don't understand.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care that much, to be honest with you. I just moved on from it. You know what I care about?
What do you care about?
Duck camp gear.
Oh, yeah.
I love duck camp gear. I'm not wearing it right now. It's a mistake. But I do know this.
What? My son loves it. I told you that.
I have a couple of former football players that played at A&M that might be getting decked out in duck camp soon. Yeah, they were making an order recently, a couple buddies of mine. So I was like, one might have played quarterback at A&M. One might have been a wide receiver at A&M.
One might be McGee, one might be Swope.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say you did.
Okay.
I just said one might be McGee and one might be Swope.
And they might be decked out. What I would like for them to do is to show up like in full hunting gear to the show.
Okay.
That would be ideal. Like the orange and everything, right? Like that I think, and just act like nothing. Like it's just a normal day at the office.
Well, I had some duck camp camo.
I wear it all the time.
Not wearing it now.
No.
Or maybe you are, and I just can't see it.
Can't see. Anyway, duckcamp.com, where you can get the lightweight performance hoodie, the scout shorts, the essential hoodie, the lightweight fishing shirt, you name it. It is duckcamp.com, built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. All right, friends, David Nuño here. While I don't drink a lot of vodka or tequila, my wife does, and that's okay. I can talk all about it here because it's time for Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila, and they're ready to raise their game with the right team, and it starts with Texas brands at Total Wine and More. And before we cheer our Texas Aggies on to victory, we need to stock up on tailgating with the right partners when it comes to adult beverages. And that's why we love Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila. And they're proud to be in their second year as sponsors of TexAgs. And now through Labor Day, this is really important. All profits will be doubled and donated to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. It's Texans helping Texas. That's right, the local brand and diehard Aggie fans are continuing support for our state. We're talking about Frio Vodka, not some orange and black labeled brand. Frio is 6 times distilled, handmade, crisp, clean vodka. This is the only vodka that should be poured in Aggieland. And Rio Agave Tequila is ideal for Aggies, whether it's the award-winning additive-free Blanco Tequila or the tasty ranch waters using 100% blue agave. You can taste the passion and dedication in every sip. These premium products are about supporting Aggieland and the Texas A&M community. All right, friends, this season, keep it in the family and pour with a purpose. Pour Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila.
surprised me there.
Yeah, I know AC/DC.
Okay.
That song right there, when I worked at the Mavs, they played it every fourth quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. Thunderstruck, yeah. MFFL. You know what that stands for?
I don't even want to know.
Sorry, because I know how your brain works. Mavs fan for life.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there's a new football league.
I thought you were thinking something else.
Well, I was.
I know. TexAgs Live, presented by David Garner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We have to get into 25 and 25 here in a second, but let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center because, Reese, interestingly, some people stand with Dave while others are like, not so much.
Yeah, some people are in the YouTube comments defending Dave. I'm not going to sit here and defend Debbie Downer Dave.
Thank you, sir. Look, you be you, whoever Aggie fan is out there, right? I just know, like, when I watch a sad movie, I got to watch a comedy right after. I don't like to be depressed. Depressed sucks, right? Like, I'm not trying to make a joke of it. Like, I don't like to be sad. It's not. So if I only focused, can you imagine? We did an offseason of a 5-7 football team that didn't change their coach, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was a little optimism because you beat LSU at the end of the year. You felt good about Connor. But
Dave and everybody, the wolf is coming, and his name is Elko.
Harvey Keitel.
The wolf is coming.
Anything else for us, Reese Niger?
He's on the prowl.
At the Angry Elephant News and Social Center.
I actually do. The Texas A&M women's soccer team completed preseason play with a 4-1 victory over UT Rio Grande Valley. The Aggies outshot the Vaqueros 17-4 and got goals from Leah Davis, Mia Scranton, Trinity Buchanan, and Taylor Jernigan. The Maroon and White will begin their regular season play on Thursday against Baylor from Ellis Field.
I believe they have outscored their opponents. I might be off here. 8-1?
8-1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was 4-0 and 4-1. So let's hope that translates into some wins. We should have Coach G on the show tomorrow. He missed his hit last week, so we should have him on tomorrow on the program. All right, OB, let's do a little 25 and 25 presented by La Casa Tequila.
La Casa Tequila.
Raised in Aggieland.
Rooted in the SEC.
We should actually have a liner that we really we do it, but we record it and auto-tune it, make it sound really nice.
Well, that didn't sound nice.
No, it sounded good, but with a little bit more.
Rooted in the SEC.
There we go. Number 10 on the list. Do you know who it is?
Albert Regis.
Look at you.
Number 10 on the list. Number 17 your program. Number 1 in your heart. I like Albert Regis for a lot of reasons. Albert Regis is like that restaurant that doesn't, it's like a mom and pop restaurant that's always good. I mean, you can go, it's good. Now, some places are hyped up more and some get more attention,
Consistently good.
But you know what you're going to get and you know it's going to be good. That's Albert Regis.
I agree with that.
He had about 35 tackles last year, which is a pretty good amount for an interior lineman.
So this is something that Coach Elko said during the offseason. It's really exciting to have a player as talented as Albert Regis. He's a grown man. He's a great leader and a phenomenal player. Anchors like that matter.
You know why he's such a good anchor, among other things? Because first of all, he plays with a lot of intensity and a lot of effort on every play. I mean, he plays every play. But he's like 6'1 or 6'2", right? And sometimes we fall in love with these guys that are like 6'5 and 6'6". You want these big defensive linemen, and then they tell them get low because the low man wins. They establish some that anchor. You get low. Well, you're already low. He's big. Do you remember it's probably before your time. There's a guy named Kylee Culp.
Kylee Culp, yes.
An NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he's about 6'1", big guy. Controlled the.
Is he from Houston? I feel like he's from Houston.
I don't know if he's from, but he played for the Oilers for a while and the Chiefs.
Yeah, he lived in Houston. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Albert is as good as Kylee Culp, but I'm not saying he won't be. I'm just saying that he's that kind of body. That he's not the tallest guy, but he's thick and he's compact, and it's hard to move him off the line of scrimmage.
I was trying to remember. I covered him. His Hall of Fame in 2013. I had to look at my notes, but yeah, I covered his Hall of Fame in 2013.
Is he from Houston?
I think he lives in Houston.
He played for the Oilers for a while.
Born in Yuma, Arizona.
I've been to Yuma.
Yeah?
Yeah, I drove there to interview a football player at Arizona Western Community College who transferred to Alabama. Jesse Williams, and he was from Australia. Just doing a story on what the places it'll take you
Yeah.
is a football career. So anyway, no one cares about that.
Let's hit a break.
Let's
Come back with a final segment here on the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Let's talk about the Association of Former Students. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, check out the Association of Former Students. They bring Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about all these awesome ones like Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, The Gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities available to get your brand in front of those attendees. And they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. These options include title sponsorship naming, on-site presence, activation, and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie Magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner with the organization that's been supporting the Aggie Network for over 140 years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olson wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. And we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Garner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance. Studio The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, what did we figure out this hour outside of the power outage?
I was going to say we figured out the power. We figured out that it's okay that there are A&M fans that are apprehensive about the football season, and that's understandable. But it's okay to be optimistic.
Yeah,
it's okay to look forward to it.
I know some people take offense to me. I have apprehension too. I just don't allow that apprehension to make me just predict doom and gloom. Right? Let's let doom and gloom happen, as opposed to, I don't know,
to someone else.
To someone else.
To someone else.
Like maybe there's another number one team that will have the fate that the baseball number one team had at the beginning of the year. Maybe that happens to somebody.
I would just ask yourself, what was your expectation? If you'll be honest with yourself, go back 13 years. What were your expectation for the Aggies in 2012? I remember writing, this could be an 8-win team, and people attacked me. Are you crazy? What was your expectation in 2020?
Yeah.
So A&M having a really good year is not out of the realm of possibility. The problem, in fact, we should expect it. I wish we were as demanding as LSU and programs like that, but we just got to get that consistency.
Yeah, fan how you want to fan. I just don't want to be in a cloud of negativity.
Wolf's coming.
And I don't think you want to be in a cloud of negativity. I'm in a cloud of reality.
Yes.
Right? Like, and realistically, no, I don't think A&M's, I think they're on the right path. That's what I think. I believe in the head coach. I think the quarterback's going to take a big step. I believe in the offensive line. I have questions about the defensive line. I think the linebackers will be solid. And for some strange reason, I believe the secondary will be, I don't know if strange is the right word, will be better.
I think so.
Do that what you may.
Do you remember the wolf in Pulp Fiction?
Of course, Harvey Keitel.
It's Elko.
Is that Harvey Keitel? Am I right?
Yeah. Gentlemen, let's assess the situation and take care of it.
There was a wolf on Breaking Bad, too.
Was there? Did they call him the wolf?
No, they didn't call him the wolf. I can't remember his name. It was the old guy. He was great. Mike.
There's a wolf sanctuary out toward Tomball.
I thought you liked the other one, but never mind.
Other than Tomball?
No, never
Just
mind.
a wolf sanctuary.
Is it really a wolf sanctuary?
There are real wolves, honestly. I mean, real wolves, not fake wolves, real wolves.
The real wolf.
Yeah.
Anyway, Obi, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
When we come back, the dreaded open segment, followed by we'll have a Missouri Insider, and then I'm sure some more commentary. You never know where the show is going to turn, right? Like it was an innocent comment by a young man, probably older than me. Kidding, Dave. I don't even know. Talking about the least excited he's been. And then there's been a lot of comments that I think have taken us a certain direction on the program. We're going to get back on track here in a moment. But I would like for Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center to read a couple of comments. Danalan and Biglow have a couple back-to-back comments that I think could make for a good talking point for a moment.
Yeah, Danalan said, "My fanatic hog friend is licking his chops for A&M this year. Quote, losing 12 out of the last 13 has really ticked us off. He told me yesterday, no mercy on the Aggies in October. He's really upset."
I find it interesting that he wrote that in AP style on the YouTube comments. It was like with quotes and like it was
very
like
formal.
Danalan, like that is like you interviewed your friend and reported back to us in like USA Today, TexAgs.com.
Those are the type of comments style of comments.
Yeah, like if more of you could really aspire to do more AP style of work, that would be appreciative. By the way, it's going to be a segue to AP in a minute, but first,
Biglow said 9-3 is the most probably positive season. Beat all the teams you should and compete with the 3 who are ahead of you.
Can't disagree with that at all.
I think that's a pretty fair.
The AP poll has not dropped yet, correct? It's supposed to drop this morning,
Today,
right?
at some point.
That comes out at 11.
11 a.m. Okay,
Yes,
great. So, was it a week or two ago, the coaches poll came out, and one thing that I like that the head coach says, and I know coaches say things, but Coach Elko has made it clear that expectations don't drive this program. I forget the exact quote he had a couple weeks back, but his mentality, I think, is exactly what our fan base and this team needs. So, it's kind of, just for a moment, tinker with what I think the AP poll will look like. Mm-hmm. By the way, I take way more stock. Actually, I don't know what I take stock in. I used to take way more stock in the coaches poll over the AP poll because I felt like coaches know their opponents the most, right? Yeah. But then I was reminded that a lot of times the coaches are not really doing the AP polls. Yeah. They're main SID guys. So based on what I expect, Texas will probably be number 1. Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, kind of in that mix right there for the first few, right?
Either order of 2,
right?
3, 4.
Looking at A&M schedule, Notre Dame will be 5, 6, or 7.
Top 7.
Yeah. LSU top 10.
Yep.
Okay. South Carolina and Florida, I think, and remind me if you have it there, the coaches poll. But if I remember correctly, both South Carolina and Florida were ranked above A&M,
as well as Ole Miss and Tennessee in the SEC.
Yeah. That'll probably still be the case.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I think South Carolina and Florida will be ahead of them. I don't know if Auburn's going to be ranked.
I wouldn't rank them.
Some of the intel out there on Jackson Arnold is not great. Pate did something on him yesterday. I've talked to a couple people close to Auburn as kind of like mixed reviews when it comes to what Jackson Arnold's doing. He hasn't been fantastic. He hasn't been bad. He's just kind of been a guy. You've got a team like Missouri. I do this to myself too often, Reese. I look at a team like Missouri and I think they're going to be bad because all the changes. And then I start doing research. We're going to have a Missouri insider on the show in a little bit, Kylee Hansen, who does sidelines for them. And I'm like, well, maybe because Amada Hardy, I can run, right? Yeah. He's a big transfer. And if Bo Prabula is just okay, and was it Kevin Coleman that they got at wide receiver? So there are reasons to, and their defense is solid. So I don't know if they'll be ranked, but I think Georgia's going to be fine, like we expect. Texas will be, if not 1, 2. I think they'll probably be 1 again. Yeah. Penn State will be in that top 2 or 3. Florida above A&M initially, sure. LSU, yes, they will be. But none of that matters to Coach Elko because, when he was asked about, hey, your expectations, paraphrasing here, honestly, I don't care. I don't give a darn, right? Because he says that they still have to go win. So if they are flying under the radar, they still have to perform. If they're flying above the radar, they still have to perform. It is about performing, not about external noise. So regardless, like we as a fan base, does it matter if they get 21, 17, 16, 15? What's going to matter is where they're ranked November 1st, and what's going to matter is where they're ranked on December the 1st.
Yeah. I mean, Missouri actually was the second team out of the coaches poll, right behind Oklahoma. So,
and that, to me, I think is the interesting part in this dialogue, because I believe if you look at the last, I'm making this up, I haven't done the research on it, but you look at the last top 25, AP top 25 polls the last 25 years, let's say. Probably 1, 2, and 3, maybe 1 through 5, probably doesn't change that much by the end of the season, right? Yeah, it'll change because wins and losses happen, but I think where a lot of the movement happens is from beyond 5, right? And this is not a scientific poll. I'm just remembering what I can remember from years past polls. But I think in this era of college football, that isn't necessarily seriously, do I believe every AP voter has watched enough film on all these new, why did my voice do that? New quarterbacks.
I don't believe so. And also this year, number 1 in the coaches poll plays number 2 and number 4. Number 2 plays number 3. So you have teams at the top playing each other. That's also an interesting kind of ripple.
Yeah, so there's going to be attrition, right? So, but when a team, like, I hope if you have a vote for the AP top 25, you actually do more research than reading a couple of headlines on Twitter. I'm sure there are people that do.
I'm sure.
But I'm sure there are people that are like, oh yeah, I saw them play last year. He wasn't that good of a quarterback, and like it is a flawed methodology made for content. And hello, I'm here doing content based on a flawed methodology. But it's external noise that, again, going back to what Coach Elko has said, you've got to go play regardless of where rankings are or expectations are. Now, we as a company, as a TexAgs, I will present information that is given to us. Some of it is favorable, some of it's not. And I'm saying in general, not on this particular team this year. And then you can, as a consumer and as a fan, decide what you do with that information. I believe they're headed in the right direction. That's just how I feel about it. Why do I feel that way? It's every time I talk to somebody on the record and off the record, they talk about how smart Coach Elko is.
Smart man.
Okay. If I got Dr. Pooh, that was actually his name. I had a professor at A&M named Dr. Pooh, so that's why I picked his name.
Okay.
P-U, not the other way. I don't know why I thought of him. Or Finney Coleman, who listens and watches this show, was my professor in 1996, okay? They're brilliant. Just being smart doesn't make you a great football coach.
Yeah.
Being smart and a ball coach, like a guy who knows football like Coach Elko does, and has organization and is recruiting at a high clip, at an extremely high clip, now I'm buying in. I bought in on Jimbo. I totally bought in on Jimbo. Most of us did.
Yeah.
Until I stopped buying in on Jimbo. There was enough evidence gathering that we were like, okay. And I know that Jimbo was recently on a show where he said he would like to coach again.
Yeah.
It was on a Florida State podcast, a former player podcast. I don't remember who it was. And I hope Jimbo does. I actually liked Jimbo.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got the Jimbo. I'm doing expectations, but I liked Jimbo. But it didn't work here. Does he go back to the lab and fix things? And that goes back to my point about Coach Elko, who I believe goes back to the lab.
Yeah.
He went back to the lab for mistakes he didn't make.
Mm-mm.
Mistakes that were done in this program, he self-identified, like, we've got to fix this, we've got to fix that, and we're going to do it. Season plays out, leaks in the dam. All right, we got to fix this, we got to fix that. Now the test is coming.
Yeah.
And then new problems will emerge because every year is not the same year. So when people are predicting this ranking and this and that and yada, 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 like, look, the intel that I'm getting, that Billy's getting, things seem good. Everybody seems good in the preseason.
Yeah.
I'm sure when we talk to the Missouri Insider, she's going to present a case for that team being amazing. And that might be the case, partially because of their schedule.
They could shock people.
They have a very easy schedule.
They do.
For SEC standards. But again, A&M goes there.
Yeah.
If they end up having the kind of season that they're predicting, they'll be in the top 25. They'll be in the top 15. So, look, the rankings are what they are. A&M's going to have to put their heads down and do what they have to do. I like that Coach Elko has this strategic approach to it. And while I think the roster is better than it was last year. I think the philosophy is more in tuned. I think another year of Tommy Moffitt in the weight room, the pieces are in place to be better than they were last year. And that, to me, means a 9-win type season. The pieces are in place for that. And hopefully better. Every SEC, not every SEC game, but let's just take every SEC team and look at their SEC schedule over the last few years and see how close some of these games were. A&M's not the only team that had 1 or 2 play games that could have gone one way or another.
Yeah. I mean, that just happens in college football. You have these teams that have 3 to 4 games that maybe come down to the last possession or a possession in the game. And I mean, obviously, I don't want to be sunshine pumper here, but this was a team that was close to beating Auburn, close to beating USC, could have beat South Carolina, and right there you're looking at an 11-win team. And then they bring back so many people that I don't buy too much into the preseason rankings. I'm a proponent that maybe they should wait till like week 3 and they have a bigger body of work to rank these teams. But
you have to have shows in the offseason, right? And it all plays a part. But like when we're all making expectations on, I think Aggies in particular have these expectations based on history, and history can tell you a lot. I get it, right? It's not, but we haven't won in Baton Rouge. I do the same thing. Yeah, I get it. Is there a guarantee that LSU is going to be better than last year?
No.
Does the Garrett Nussmeier injury, which I believe Brian Kelly said, did he say it was a PCL strain? I think is what he said.
Yeah, it was something that isn't major, but it is kind of nagging.
Right, it's been nagging for a while.
Yeah.
Like, could that completely change? Like, at some point, another SEC team is going to have to go through 3 quarterbacks like A&M has every year since 1802, right? Like, so that situation. The Lenore Sellers conversation, we've gone over that 100 times. Like, is South Carolina as good? Florida, they may have a top 3 quarterback. Yeah. They may have a top 3 quarterback that gets injured a lot. They may, right? Yeah. Arch, we know the story there. Didn't I see, and I don't know what, again, you can't believe too much of what people say, but there was a tweet out there that the Texas offense struggled in their scrimmage this weekend. Yeah. And, I read through some of the comments, and the Texas fans, which I understand their point, like, yeah, that means the defense is cooking. Watch out, Ohio State, right? Like, I get it. I get that thinking. I also think, interesting.
Yeah. Maybe they don't live up to the hype that everybody said.
Well, which is why, going back to the A&M video that we started the segment or this show with, like, you can't read into a 30-second clip. No. You can't read into what the part the reporters get to watch of a practice because it's maybe a controlled part of the practice. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And Nick, when this video is done playing, we should probably hear from Coach Elko. I believe the video is from before the scrimmage. It might have been right after, but it sounds like right before, I believe. Just getting this team ready to roll. Nick, do you have that clip ready? Let's listen to Coach Elko.
Made it to scrimmage warm. All right, now the fun begins. Right now the fun really begins. Right, and so what we do now, in terms of here's our starting point, how we attack getting better is going to be critical. Right, the urgency is about us becoming the best team we can become. We got 2 weeks left before we're in game week. We got 2 weeks left to work before we're in game week. We got to go. Right, the time for us to go is now.
The time for us to go is now. And I like the way he communicates to his team. Right, there's a level of authority there, but kind of look, he'll yell at them, right? Of course, like that's what coaches do. But it's kind of like it's a conversation with his team with authority, and I do appreciate that. Let's get to a couple of texts before we hit a break. Then I know you got some Aggies in the NFL updates for us.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we'll go to the Aggie in the NFL updates with preseason action finally going underway. A big game for Nick Scorton in his NFL preseason debut with 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. Ja'Day Walker caught his first professional touchdown.
That was beautiful.
It was a beautiful touchdown catch. He had 3 catches for 41 yards total and a touchdown in that game. Braden Mann kicked an extra point. Don't see a whole lot. It was a reverse kind of kicking process. Braden Mann was the kicker, and Jake Elliott, their normal place kicker, held the ball. Aniyah Smith also caught a touchdown. He ended up with 2 catches for 11 yards and a touchdown, as well as 66 return yards between both punts and kicks. McKinley Jackson also had a good preseason with 4 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and Bobby Brown III had 3 tackles with a tackle for loss as well. So Aggie showing out in the preseason so far, even though it's the preseason. So take with that what you will. Let's see on the YouTube page.
Well, we can hit a break, and then we'll get to it. By the way, Zach corrects me. It's tendonitis that Brian Kelly's talking about that Nuss has been dealing with. So, again, if everybody who covers teams and every fanhood that watches their team play did it the way we Aggies kind of assess teams and ours, everybody's gotten hurt. Well, eventually other teams get hurt too.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing that on anybody.
No.
I mean, and I hate that I have to say that out loud.
Suck.
But what my point is, we sometimes predict things because they've happened before. They don't always have to happen. And hopefully, as I believe, Coach Elko, who has us on the right pace or the right path, will take care of it. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. A couple more comments. I see you, Aggie Kid, on the YouTube page, and I know that Reese has got more for us. Milliken Reserve Time, farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. I was hanging out with Dr. Chad Nelson, who's doing Camp Milliken all summer long. Hopefully we'll get him on the fan show soon. Great things to do when you go to Milliken Reserve. As I mentioned, Camp Milliken, they got the hiking, the biking, the canoeing, the kayaking, the equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, the music festivals, the farmer markets, and the farm tours. It is a place that is committed to maintaining that natural habitat. When you go, you will love it. You'll love being outdoors with your family. If you live there, you'll love the neighborhoods and be able just to hit those outdoors daily. And if you don't live there, guess what? You can still go visit and hang out at all the great events that they have there at Milliken Reserve that provides a natural setting for people to connect and come together. The website is millikenreserve.com. That website, millikenreserve.com. Overrated song?
Depends on how high you have it rated.
Nick?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Overrated.
I mean, I think it was on
Nothing
Pee Wee Herman's
special
movie.
about
George Lopez.
Yeah, it's George Lopez is what I think of when I hear that.
Waking up at like
George Lopez looks like. Do you remember when they found Saddam Hussein and his hair was all like in the little hole? George Lopez looks like him now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
Not a good look.
No, it's not.
Not really a big George Lopez guy.
I'm not a huge George Lopez guy, but I do remember waking up at like 4 a.m. as a kid to that song playing, and you knew it was the George Lopez show on Nick.
Oh, it was I thought he had a show like at night. It was on during the.
I mean, it was like a
Nick at Night.
Yeah, Nick at Night.
Huh.
But it would like run. They would run George Lopez the entire night, and if you woke up in the middle of the night with your TV on, 95% of the time George Lopez was on the TV.
Well, I do have to remind the audience, this is TexAgs Live. This is not, let's talk about the shows on Nickelodeon. So we'll get back to our football commentary. Reese Nygren, Angry Elephant News and Social Center. People have been commenting, but before we get to the comments, you mentioned a storyline that I was very intrigued by.
I guess it was an intriguing storyline. John Gruden over the weekend gave his desires to want to get into college coaching. Hasn't coached since 2021. Never been a head coach in college football. He's been a position coach. He said during his meeting with the Georgia football team, "I'm being honest with you. I don't BS either. I want to coach again. I'd die to coach in the SEC. I would love it."
So I'm going to tell you where he'll coach.
Where?
The one that makes the most sense. Two hot sports take. I think John Gruden will be more, when he gets an opportunity, will be a more successful college football coach than Bill Belichick. Okay, I think his coaching style is more conducive to. I think he probably lost a little bit of his fastball when he got to the Raiders, but I'm going to say that John Gruden is a better fit for college football than Bill Belichick. I have lost all faith in the greatest coach of all time, NFL history. I've lost all faith. Okay. And I believe in John Gruden still. I think John Gruden's got a hilarious personality.
He does.
And he loves ball. Not saying that Bill Belichick does, but I believe in Gruden. I believe there's two places that he would go.
Okay.
He's not going to go to Arkansas when they fire Sam Pittman.
Nope.
Okay?
Cross it off.
I think Florida's the best fit for John Gruden.
You and SEC Mike agree.
Oh, does he agree with me?
SEC Mike gave his best fits for John Gruden and believed he gave his top 5 and said that 2 of these 5 jobs will be open. Number 1, Florida.
Hold on. I promise you I haven't read this. Florida, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's 3.
Okay. Florida State.
No, not on there. It's SEC only.
Oh, SEC. Okay,
SEC only.
Florida. I already said Oklahoma. Arkansas is Arkansas 5.
Arkansas's 5.
Okay. Who else could get fired? Let me go around the league. All right, just tell me the list.
Florida number 1, LSU number 2.
I don't think
Brian
Kelly's getting fired this year, unless they go 6-6.
Even then, they
owe him like $60 million.
The buyout is just way too much. Number 3, Oklahoma. Number 4, Auburn.
That I could see absolutely.
I could see that.
And I don't want to see that either.
And number 5, Arkansas.
Yeah, I could Auburn. Yeah, so I would change that list. I would probably, if those are my 5 options, LSU would be 5.
Yeah.
Arkansas would be 4. I would say that Oklahoma would be 3. Auburn would be 2. Florida would be 1.
I think Florida's the undisputed number 1.
And Florida, number 1, it's going to depend, obviously, on what happens this season with Billy Napier. They have a tough schedule, but the ties to Florida are there.
Yeah.
Gainesville from Tampa is, I believe, 90 minutes.
Not very far.
Right? We stayed in Tampa when we went to Gainesville last year. I think I had the flu, and it was the worst ride back ever. I think I slept the whole way and almost gave everybody COVID and pneumonia all at the same time, and the flu. But I would say that, Florida would be my number 1 pick. And I would say Florida State, not an SEC school, would be dumb not to call him.
Yeah.
If Mike Norvell, if Castellanos and Florida State go 6-6 and they decide to move on from Mike Norvell, I believe that they would call John Gruden.
Now, there were a few people. There was someone who threw out a hypothetical scenario that what if Oklahoma fires Brent Venables, hires Josh Heupel, and then John Gruden goes to his alma mater at Tennessee.
Now that is, this dude's playing chess and checkers at the same time, right? Like,
I didn't know I was surprised.
I could see that. But
I could see a world where.
Why would Heupel leave Tennessee? I mean, other than, how long has he been at Tennessee? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
So just as long as he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. I could see that, though. That's an interesting case. Let's get to some of these messages, shall we?
Madden in Houston said that he expects 9-3 with the guys coming back this season isn't good enough, especially when you factor in what A&M is losing after the season. So do you believe that A&M has to be better than 9-3, considering who all is leaving at the end of this season?
Do me a favor. Look at what Sark did year 2. I think I know. I think he went 7-5 and 5-7. Okay? I'm fairly sure I'm right about that.
Sure.
And, you can pick most SEC coaches and see what the growth was.
His second year at Texas, he went 8-5.
Okay, I guess they won the bowl game.
His first year, he went 5-7.
I think they won the bowl game to get 8.
They lost their bowl game.
Oh, they did? So I was wrong.
They lost the Alamo Bowl in 2022.
I was close. Sorry, Billy's going to remind me of this being wrong. But, all right, so basically one game above 500 in his first couple years.
Yeah.
9-3 to me, guys, with this schedule and some of the issues that were coming would be a fantastic season. 10-2, please sign me up for it. But I can't answer what is good enough for everybody else. I can tell you that if a year from now, I'm talking about a 9-3 season where there's proof of concept, where, yes, you're losing a lot of dudes, but those dudes under them played quite a bit of football this year. Jermaine Morrow and Tiger Ryden look awesome, right? If Reuben Owens comes back for another year, okay? I'm just giving some scenarios. Offensive line, all the guys we've been talking about, how they've recruited the last couple of years, get some playing time this year, and you feel, all right, yeah, they may take a little bit of a step back, but now you get Marcel Reed in year 3 of a starter. I'm giving a hypothetical here, okay? Mario Craver, year 3 in the league. Terry Bussey, year 3 in the league. Wide receiver, I think, and who you have coming in, and Jerome Miles, maybe, right? So, okay, got that. Got that. The guys that are coming in. Offensively, you should be pretty good. Should be. I understand the questions about the offensive line. I would understand that, right? Defensively, another year of some young defensive linemen. Linebackers, I think I feel pretty good about where you are at linebacker. Yeah, you would lose Scooby. You probably lose Torian, but, Damian Sanford, Jordan Lockhart. There's some guys there. Yeah. And then the back end. Okay, I think you still have Julian Humphreys. I think you'd have Des Ricks, right? You potentially have Dalton Brooks, potentially, right? So, you've got some guys. So I understand, because I had that same fear myself. I actually talked about it at lunch one day, I think with Billy or somebody, I look at this season, how important it is because of those factors. But at the same time, if we believe, and I've already said that I do, that A&M's headed in the right direction, A&M's not the only, Texas is having to answer that question right now.
Yeah. They got a lot of guys leaving.
LSU is having to answer that question right now.
Yeah, they got a big portal team.
So when you have to answer those questions, Missouri, who we're going to talk to an insider here in a minute, has to answer that question right now with a new quarterback, somewhat of a new offensive line, a transfer running back, a new wide receiver group, right? So there's that part of it as well. So I say all that to you that I understand the ideas behind it and why you see, I think it was Madden who said it.
Yeah.
But if you go 9-3, you have proof of concept of growth in 2 years.
Yeah.
Win a bowl game at 10-3.
You got yourself a 10-win season. Ride that momentum into the offseason.
One of those games that you have to have circled on your calendar is the Missouri game because of the beating you gave them last year at Kyle Field.
Oh, yeah.
And how they obviously rebounded from that moment last year, right? So you're going to have that. And you have to go there. But they have everything that I just talked about. New running back, new quarterback, the whole thing. So we'll talk about that on the other side. Daily Company, they're a family-owned and licensed insured business that offers HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and generator services available 24/7. When it comes to HVAC, their thermostat repairs, they'll do the refrigerant leaks, the furnace failures, and all that good stuff with seasonal tune-ups. plumbing, leak repairs, clogged drains, water heater installation, maintenance to keep those pipes in top shape, electrical wiring, outlets, and upgrades. They also have generator repair, maintenance, and installation. They'll serve all of Bryan College Station. They've got Houston. They got Austin. They've got upfront pricing with no surprises. What you need to do is call them up at 979-2060-2020. That's 979-260-2020. Or visit them at godaily.com to experience the daily difference. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Kylee Hansen, who covers Missouri. She's been on the sidelines for them. She was at SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Saw her great work there. Kylee, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited. Looking forward to this.
We appreciate it. So you probably heard a little bit of the tail end of the last segment when I was talking Missouri. Break down the quarterback situation for me, because I've read that it's still an ongoing quarterback battle, but everybody thinks it's Bo Pribula's job. Is it, and how has he looked?
As much as you want to say, when you pay $1.5 million for someone to come from Penn State and come to your school and be this quarterback, him and Sam Horn, who was also just drafted into the MLB, so there's a lot of questions there with which one is he really more focused on. You want to say it's Bo Pribula, but honestly, in fall camp, they are splitting reps. They've both essentially looked pretty much the exact same, have the same struggles and stuff like that. And one of the biggest questions with Bo is, can he pass? Like, him and Kevin Coleman have connected a few times in fall camp, but people are worried just about him and how he's really going to get out there on the field. I think we play Central Arkansas first, so that will kind of be our test. And then our biggest rival second is Kansas. So that's going to be the game where people are really going to need to see consistency, which is what they're looking for in fall camp. But right now, I really think it's a true competition. As much as you want to say it's Bo Pribula, I genuinely think that Coach Drinkwitz does not know who his quarterback will be. I was talking to John Anderson, who is an ESPN anchor. He works at Mizzou now, but he said he talked to Drinkwitz and said that he really, truly also does not know who his quarterback is going to be.
Talking to Kylee Hansen.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
It is going to be a true question.
Let's talk about the wide receiver group, because when you lose guys, which, by the way, I think Will Lee had a pretty nice performance against Theo Weiss, but when you lose guys like Luther Burden and Theo Weiss, who are awesome players, how does Kevin Coleman kind of just fix that whole situation for them?
Right. Well, when Theo Weiss comes out at Kyle Field with a towel that has A&M on it, or I don't remember that exact thing, but when you come out and then you perform how you did, I don't think that's a very good look. I think Kevin Coleman, coming from Mississippi State, he's gonna work for the Tigers. We also have Marquise Johnson and Josh Manning, who have been with this team for a while. They're essentially veterans now. They're still pretty young. So when Theo Weiss and Luther Burden were out during the Music City Bowl, Marquise and Josh Manning came in and had to help out and had bigger numbers and performed well. But Marquise Johnson is fast. I think that Kevin Coleman Jr., being a transfer in the SEC, he will help for this team. I don't think you can never be Luther Burden and you can never be Theo Weiss. Those two just connected so well with the quarterback and with Brady Cook, and they worked so well. I think the other problem, obviously, is who's going to be the quarterback, who are you going to be playing with, and who's going to run the offense. And so I just think there are big holes and gaps to fill. Kevin Coleman will be great. You're never going to be that Chicago Bears, the Luther Burden. You're never going to be able to essentially fill that the duo that they had. But yeah, Ahmad Hardy, coming in from the Sun Belt Conference, put up 1,300 yards as a true freshman, and he'll be good too. They call him Horseman Hardy. He's crazy in the locker room. He's fun, but essentially it has to be consistent, and you have to show out during the games. I think that Kevin Coleman will be good. He's connected with Bo a few times, but once again, it's just who is really going to be out there and who is going to be the star of the show. You're never going to be Luther Burden. You're not going to be asked to be Luther Burden, but when you're in the SEC and you're playing against, A&M, you're playing against these teams, you have to be consistent.
Yeah, everything I've read about Ahmad Hardy has been fantastic, just what he did at his previous stop, but also just the kind of running back that he could be. But there are questions about the offensive line, right? There's been some changes there. So kind of help me understand what they're doing to protect, if it's Bo Pribula and Ahmad Hardy and the whole crew.
Right. Well, there is a lot of work to do with those starting five. I think that Connor Tolson went out in the middle of last season, who's our center, with a knee injury, and he's kind of been hurt still throughout fall camp.
Oh, that hurts. Oh,
didn't play the other day, but he should be back and ready for game one. They need to figure out really who's at left. Cameron Johnson. For left tackle right now, they have transfer Johnny Williams is starting up next week, and the blind blocker just has to be dominant And then for right guard right now, there's so many questions on this team, especially now, which thankfully, honestly, this year they're not going to Kyle Field again, because I was at that game too. And it was, I mean, I'd never seen anything so bad. We were going to do a live shot after a game. It ended up just cutting the whole thing because they played so poorly.
Kylie, we're having some issues with your mic and your camera, so we're going to just drop it there. Appreciate you coming on the program and all that you do. If we get her camera fixed here in the next little bit, we'll try to bring her back on. But you look at their schedule. They're avoiding Texas. They avoid Georgia. They avoid LSU, Tennessee, while hosting Bama, A&M, and South Carolina. They went in the last couple of years, 1-5 against really good teams the last 2 seasons against ranked teams. So that just tells you that some of their record is inflated by schedule. And let's see, the defense, when allowing over 200 yards, went 1-6. A&M, by the way, rushed for 236 yards on them. And that was a game where they threw the ball well, too.
Yeah, that was a game where A&M could do no wrong. Like, it just seemed like from the kickoff that A&M had the game in control.
Yep. Can you read Cade's text to me so I can kind of respond to Cade?
Cade said, you talk down about the teams on our schedule like LSU has issues, Gamecocks may not be so good, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't work that way. Then you talk about absolutes for us, like Reed is just automatically going to be better, receivers better. Use that mindset for the opponents too. That's all I'm saying. Can't have it both ways.
Cade, you obviously have a listening comprehension problem, and there's help for you out there. You can actually rewind and listen. Let's in this hour.
Yeah.
I said you have to use the same thinking with A&M and LSU when I just talked about next season, right? If you're going to be critical of one team, you have to. I actually as you're texting that line in, I said that. So let's just kind of go through that. You talk about absolutes for us, like Reed is just automatically going to be better. Automatically better? I said I believe he'll be better.
Yeah.
Is that automatically going to happen?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I believe he's going to be better.
It's a belief. It's not.
Okay. I believe the receivers will be better. And I've given you reasons, Cade.
Yeah.
I felt like I was talking to my kid there. I'm just kidding with you, Cade. But I've given you reasons why I think the receivers will be better. They'll be better because they're faster. There's more separation. I believe that to be the case. I could be wrong. Oh my God, what a concept. I can admit that I could be wrong. Use that mindset with the opponents too. Here was what I said about the offensive line, about LSU. They have to replace an offensive line. I'm curious about it. Are they going to be able to protect Nuss better? They're a team that did not run the ball last year.
Not very good.
Maybe that's because the offensive line that they had with guys drafted in the first couple days, maybe they're better at pass protection. These are all questions.
They're fair questions.
You can hear things however the hell you want to hear them, Cade, but I'm going to tell you what I said, okay? When it comes to the Gamecocks, I personally don't believe they will be as good.
There's reasons to believe
Can
that.
I explain to you, because this guy obviously doesn't listen. Can I explain to you the difference?
Go ahead.
A&M returns an offensive line, returns a running back room, and they've upgraded the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
What I have said is I do believe Lenore Sellers is a top 2 or 3 quarterback in the SEC, but I don't know if the pieces around him this year on the defensive side will give them the same kind of offensive opportunities.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
That is fair.
Okay. As for Florida, the assessment that I have given on Florida is that I think they're going to be better than they were last year, but that schedule is so hard that is Lenore Sellers going to be able to withstand an SEC season because there are questions about his injuries, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, Cade, I unblocked you. Somebody blocked him. I unblocked him because I like to respond to the blocks. But like, you can hear things however the heck you want. Opinions are just that. They're opinions. I think Marcel's going to be better.
And
I could be wrong. By the way, just you and I are listening here, okay? Nobody, don't listen, okay? Nick, don't listen. I thought Connor Wigman was going to be incredible last year.
You were not alone on that.
I was wrong. Jordan Rogers thought Connor might be the best quarterback of that group last year. He was wrong. The guy's really good.
Yeah.
When you talk for 15 hours a week, you're right, you're wrong. I predicted, was it this summer or that Jace was going to hit 3 home runs in the game or hit 2 home runs in the first few innings, and he did it. Remember, everybody thought I was a prophet?
Yeah.
All right, I just guessed. Okay, just a guess. I didn't know what pitch they were going to throw to him. But I love you, Cade, too. I know you were just making your point. I just like to get heated sometimes. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. I guarantee that their service is better than everybody. Right? And you know what? I can use that same assessment with all the other car dealerships. You know how I know? Because I got my own opinion, and I've done it. Why am I yelling at you? You had nothing to do with it. Anyway, it's about a 15-minute drive from the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. No yelling there. And when you go there, you're going to experience the difference because the customer service, the pricing, and the people are just different, and they love Aggie athletics, by the way. It is Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. As a reminder, the final segment of the program brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Callie Garner is Around Aggieland. Hello,
Hey.
Callie.
How's it going?
How are you?
I'm great. How was your weekend?
It was a busy weekend of work around the house and, dad stuff.
Yeah.
How was yours?
It was good.
I heard
it was
you
relaxing.
took a fat nap. That's what I heard.
I did. I feel like you got to take advantage of the relaxing weekends before.
Because it's not going to be
the
relaxing here in a
craziness
couple of
starts.
weeks.
Yeah. No, it's not. But we've got Around Aggieland for y'all today, starting off with our student athletes. 22 Texas A&M student athletes crossed the stage this past Friday at commencement at Reed Arena. 6 of the graduates earned their advanced degrees or certificates, including soccer's Jordan Kindiger, who completed her doctorate in educational psychology, which is super awesome. On the volleyball front, Texas A&M volleyball will get plenty of national attention this fall as the 9th-ranked Aggies are slated for 7 nationally televised matches in 2025. 6 are on ESPN platforms, and 1 of them is on the Big Ten Network. It all starts with the top 12 showdown against number 11 Minnesota at the AVCA First Serve in Sioux Falls, airing on the Big Ten Network. And pre-conference play also features a number 23 Utah matchup on September 4th and number 10 SMU on September 9th, both streamed on ESPN2. And in SEC action, the Aggies take on number 17 Missouri on ESPNU, followed by South Carolina and Kentucky on the SEC Network. And they will close their TV slate on November 2nd against Tennessee on ESPNU. On the soccer front, Texas A&M soccer closed out their exhibition play this weekend as the Aggies rolled past UTRGV 4-1 on Saturday at Ellis Field, powered by 3 set-piece goals, including 2 penalty kicks and a corner kick. Taylor Jernigan drew both penalties, continuing her knack for creating chances after earning one in last week's win over Rice. And Leah Diaz buried the first penalty kick in the 14th minute, but the Vaqueros answered in the 27th, and A&M regained control when Mia Scranton scored off of the Leah Piero corner in the 35th.
Kalita, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back on TexAgs Live, Around the SEC, brought to you by the Jackster Group, thanks to our buddy Nick Savage, Billy Liucci, and with Billy, maybe I'll ask a question or two about the scrimmage. Obviously, I got to do the Zapruder film with him, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit on the offensive line, some intel on Des Ricks, a couple things. We'll do obviously our 25 and 25. And I got some other things that I'm interested in talking to Mr. Liucci about. Houston Aggies join us for a special screening of Breaking Tradition, featuring fellow Houstonian and Aggie Hugh McElroy, class of 71, at the Star Cinema Grill in City Center on August 27th at 6 p.m. Set during the Civil Rights era, the powerful documentary follows McElroy's courageous journey through a transformative period at Texas A&M in the 60s. Tickets are $25 and available now in the Football Forum, presented by the Houston A&M Club in partnership with Texas Filmworks and TexAgs, with support from Rifle CRE and the Goodwin Group at Merrill. Don't miss an unforgettable evening celebrating Aggie history and courage. All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with all that and more as TexAgs Live. Great song. I don't care what anybody says, what language. TexAgs Live. Look at Nick laughing. I'm sure there's at least 7.
Dude, I love, like, what's the proper genre? You might have to help me, but, like, Spanish country, like, what isn't there, like, Tejano music?
Yeah.
I like Tejano music.
You like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad Bunny, maybe not so much, but.
Hey, I haven't watched Happy Gilmore, but Billy told me he stole the show.
He did.
It's just a bunch of stupid one-liners.
He's in the movie?
Yeah, Bad Bunny is Happy's caddy in the movie.
Why?
Spoilers.
Because he's great.
He was pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
He's the Drake of the reggaeton world. That's why. Why do you make that face? That was not, I don't like that tone at all. You must be on Kendrick's side.
No.
By the way, it's time for Around the SEC. We're going to keep it classy on the show. What did DTS Aggie say?
Yeah, DTS Aggie said, I just tuned in. David seems hyper. What's going on?
I think Nick, and you've been here long enough to know this, but I think Nick will be able to tell you that I think, Nick, tell me, I'm very even keel until I'm not. And then I go all like on dumb rants. Fair?
Yeah. You're calm until someone says something that like doesn't trigger something, but it sets something and you're like, oh my God, we're going.
You know, the funny part is I really do believe this. I don't think we are all that, like we're not that much in disagreement, right? Mm-hmm. Like I have some of the same questions that a lot of folks that are pessimists have, but and I understand that like it is my job to present information to you and you guys, like I'm a steward of information, right? So if I'm super excited about a season, then it could change your expectations. I recognize that this comes with a lot of responsibility. That part I get. But I choose to live my life not just negative Nancy. I have said on this show that I feel like we're an 8-4, 9-3 type team. I've said that, like
he has
more than once. So it's not like we're in disagreement. I hope to hell I'm wrong. And how I'm wrong is if some of the questions that I have are answered, such as Marcel having to be better, such as sacking the quarterback, such as giving up big plays. That is not a guarantee that any of that's going to happen. And I hope it hasn't. Sorry, my Google chat is not opening as quick as I would like, my friend. Is it from you, Nick?
Yeah, it's okay. You can read that, and I'll do my Around the SEC. How does that sound?
By the way, it's brought to you by the Jaxer Group.
Yeah, of course. But I don't know if you saw past week, ESPN put out their SEC power rankings, and they got Texas A&M in the top 5. Texas 1, Georgia 2, Alabama 3, LSU 4, then the Aggies in that 5 spot, which I think is pretty fair. If you look at the tiers, how we've had that conversation a lot. Like there's the top tier, the middle tier, and that middle tier is about 8 or 9 teams deep. A&M at the top of Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, South Carolina, Missouri, and Auburn. I would argue that's kind of the middle tier. And then the bottom 4, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Mississippi State. So just your thoughts on that list. I was honestly surprised to see ESPN have Texas A&M so high, but I'm not mad about it.
Nick, I'm going to give you a moment to find my preseason, if you still have it, you may have erased it by now, my preseason standings, like whenever I had it when the SEC Media Days had me like pick where I think teams will finish. I don't know, I couldn't speak English there. It happens to me every show. Dalton, I'm sure you're listening, you know when I make these mistakes. Anyway, is that a TexAgs.com power ranking, Reese Nygren, or is that an ESPN power ranking?
It is an ESPN power ranking.
So hold on. ESPN has A&M at number 5, a national publication, national media entity. And I don't have A&M as high. I can make a case for why they can be that high.
All right, I got yours.
All right, so I don't remember where I had A&M, okay?
6th.
Okay, so not that far off.
Pretty close.
Okay. Do you have it? Can I look at it?
Yeah, let me, hold on 1 second.
I think 6 is possible.
Yeah.
Right? I obviously predicted them. I was drinking the maroon Kool-Aid that week in Atlanta. I think 6 is certainly possible.
I think 6 is fair.
And I hope they better be.
Yeah.
Right? They better be. So that does not necessarily mean that I'm going all in on playoffs, right? Like that means kind of where I've had A&M. I think I've been fairly consistent with that, but we'll see. All right, don't worry about it, Nick. We'll hit a break here, and we'll come back. I believe Billy Liucci will be on a mobile, so we'll do that here. When it comes to telling family stories, you got to reach out to Chance McClain. Don't wait any longer. Like the waiting to have a documentary done about your family. I don't want to be like morbid and kind of rude here, but like you don't want to wait too long because then you can't do what you've been thinking about doing. And I know many of you, luckily we did do it. It took me a little longer than I wanted to do it when we did my dad's heritage film. But like, you know, if you wait too long, that story is going to be lost, right? For whatever reason. And I'm just telling you, these heritage films are everybody I've talked to that has done them they're like the Abeo family. I know that the Hickman family has done one. Like when you do these stories, you're going to A, feel great about doing it. B, you don't even know how great you're going to feel in a few years later, right? In 10 years, in 15 years, when your grandkids are watching it, when their kids are watching it, when we're not even around, right? That's the beauty of a heritage film. They tell the story about your family business, or your family ranch. And he's been doing this new family ranch things. Farm and Ranch Films is a part of Heritage Films, and they do the story. They capture the wisdom that your grandkids are going to inherit, and you'll definitely want it. The phone number is 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341, or go to yourheritagefilm.com.
Yeah.
Little Tejano for Nick Savage with his favorite artist, Bad Bunny, in the background. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Ladies and gentlemen, the executive editor, the co-owner of TexAgs.com, Billy Liucci, is in studio, suffering through 2 hours and 11 minutes of Marconi-level radio gold. Hello, Billy. I'll let you do that.
Is that some kind of ridiculous
Marconi
award?
He's
I
one
won the Marconis.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to start
a radio award. I know you Houston types all just slobbered over it, trying to
I have
win it.
never put my name in any nomination for any award.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't put your own name in a nomination.
And that's what people do.
Do they really?
Yes. Like when you were at Channel 13,
it's cringeworthy.
They want you to do it, and you got to pay for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if Channel. I think all places. Yeah, you got to pay for it. So I'm like, you know what? I like.
That's what got you out of it.
No, radio too, though. By the way.
No, I mean paying. You're like,
yeah, I'm out. You know me. I don't. Hey, Dave, you want to go to lunch? You paying? That's how I roll. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dave.
So,
Dave and Edmund had you guys triggered this morning, didn't he?
He's just always negative, and I don't want to always be negative.
He's a miserable bastard, isn't he? Like
that made me laugh like a smoker.
He is it's just pure misery on Dave and Edmund.
You know, you've been on doing this.
I
show
don't
for a
even
while.
know. I just know a lot of people like him. I just know that how you've portrayed him. I've actually never met him.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, but I've a lot of really nice friends that are really miserable. It's wild. I was thinking about this the other day, and like, I understand, like, we're all like, there's a lot of trepidation and kind of jumping in with an A&M football team every year, or especially when the season ends the way it did last year. But like, I've said a million times, all the promising things that we saw in year one. But I just focused in the other day on the whole concept of all of these scary teams, and just the fact that, like, when people go, find the 9, find the 8, the Texas fans, find me 7 wins. By the way, there's a guy on one of these Texas sites that I think he's mentally, he's a little
struggling
off. And I'm talking to you, so I hope you're listening. I think you're an absolute loser, like something's wrong with you. He takes what I say, but via the transcription. So I don't think he's figured out yet. I don't think it's clicked that is a kind of shorthanded transcription.
Right.
So he's trying to follow it, writing. Literally goes through and does point by point with like a crayon, and then goes down and tries to analyze what's said and does a horrifically bad job of it. So, like, get better at what you do. If you're going to be obsessed with me, get better at it. Like, become a better obsessed loser. Don't suck at that too. Be better at that. But I'm looking at the people and like the negativity, and that was just this is going to probably be shorthanded, so I want this guy to be prepared. I'm looking at the like, oh, I'm nervous about this team or that team. Show me the 9 wins. Show me the 8 wins. I want to see get to 7 with this schedule. Well, with the same teams, they got to within any one of a dozen plays of 9 last year. So I also understand that teams get better and teams get worse. It's almost like people are not thinking Texas A&M can get better, which is weird to me. And again, nothing is guaranteed because in the SEC, so many teams right now seem to be a part of a crowded pack. And I think teams like, well, Alabama is part of that crowded pack now. I think Georgia and Texas are very slightly above that crowded pack and nowhere near what we're used to in the SEC when you had the Kirby Smart, Georgia Prime, and they'll probably get right back to it, and peak Alabama Nick Saban, or when you had those random national championship LSU teams. The pack is as crowded as I think as it's ever been of teams capable of beating each other. So it's very difficult to handicap, especially when you've got so much turnover at quarterback or so much newness and so much talent but unproven.
Mm-hmm.
There's this wide range that almost every quarterback could go. But I look just real quickly, and I want to get to the quarterbacks, but you look at A&M, and I think they should be better on the O-line. I think they should be better at running back. I think they are better at wide receiver. I think they are better at tight end. It's not even close. Quarterback, it's like Marcel and like everyone else in the conference. What jump do they make? That's TBD. I've seen a lot out there, and I've talked to a lot of people. Marcel Reed will be better. The question is how much better, but he is noticeably better right now. I don't know how that translates in-game on the field against SEC teams. I do think Marcel Reed, by his style of play, is a better game player than practice player, too. So you have to factor that in. Secondary, by all accounts, is already better, should be noticeably better. I think linebacker play will be better. It's just second year in the system for Scooby.
Deeper, too.
Torian, and then the depth. So check that one. The only position that I would sit here today and say is going to be better is the defensive line. And I do think the pass rush will be better. But D-line, when you lose Scorton, Stewart, and Turner, I'm sorry, like it's going to be really hard for that group to be better. And I know they cooled off as the year went on, but they were not a bad defensive line even then. So I think they're going to be better to some degree. I'm confident, very confident that team's better at every position on the field except D-line. And and TBD on the D-line, you just see a guy like Cassius Howell with that sack, and Rylan Kennedy and Regis is back, and Hicks has played a lot of ball, and you went portal heavy when you bring 4 guys in via the portal and Marco Jones. So, but I just think, let's be real, that you're 3 first and second rounders. Okay, so if that was any other team, we would be saying they're going to take a step back on the D-line. So let's stick to that. I think A&M's one of those teams that's going to be better. There's no doubt in my mind. The question is how much better in versus these other teams. But when you look at the quarterback, so people are, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Marcel. And I'm going, again, I've talked about Marcel against USC, Marcel against Auburn, like down the stretch last year. Texas ate him and this whole A&M offense up. It wasn't just him. They couldn't do anything. But you look at those games around it. You look at some of the other games earlier in the year from him, LSU, Florida, Arkansas. Okay? South Carolina, the only rough, and that was a rough second half, and then that Texas game. 2 of the best defenses in the SEC for a first-year quarterback. That was also his first road game in the SEC at night against an elite defense. Trying to, by the way, to keep up with an elite quarterback. So talk about Sellers. Lenora Sellers would scare me. Okay? Now, these other teams that you're worried about, well, Garrett Nussmeier, I saw where these people at Barstool picked him to be the SEC Player of the Year, and people at SEC Media Days were telling me he's a Heisman contender and LSU's going to win the national title. I watched him throw 3 picks in the second half at Kyle Field. I watched him get humiliated and eaten alive by Alabama on his home field. I watched him complete 43% of his passes against Ole Miss before leading a dramatic rally and gutsy. I watched him throw a pick 6 against South Carolina that should have lost the game. How do we feel with that? Because everyone would raise their hand and go, oh, give me Nussmeier, because that's what – I see a lot of flaws there, okay? So what else? We're scared of Auburn, right? Okay, give Auburn Marcel Reed. If Aggie fans saw Marcel Reed do at Auburn what he did at A&M last year, and they watched the LSU game, and they watched, they saw those numbers in the last 2 of those last 3 games. They watched him against Florida. And we had Jackson Arnold coming from OU, from what he did last year in Norman. I mean, what are we talking
Marcel
about
would be
here?
getting a lot more hype.
Yeah, and A&M fans would be so scared of Marcel, and they'd be like, if you're worried about what kind of jump Marcel's making, how the hell would you feel to have Jackson Arnold? Yet we're scared of Auburn. I don't understand it. I understand the show me. I got to see it. I got to see this improvement at quarterback. I got to see, but I don't understand like not applying that to the opposition, not applying that to the teams you're going to play. Another example is if you're A&M, and I listen, we're all sports fans. We all understand that an unknown guy can be great. Arch Manning may end up being the greatest thing since sliced bread. Arch Manning might end up being as good as his uncles. He might be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He might win a Heisman, do something they didn't do. He might win a national title. We don't know. He has certain attributes. I've said before, he kind of reminds me of an Andrew Luck, who was a number one pick, who was a high-end NFL quarterback. Matthew Stafford lived up. We got plenty of guys that have lived up to it. But when you look around the league at all these quarterbacks, from Ty Simpson to Gunnar Stockton to the guys we mentioned, maybe it's Austin Simmons that ends up being the best. We don't know. But I'll tell you this. I mentioned in September Jackson Arnold, and you also go and look at C.J. Carr. So we're worried about the jump Marcel Reed makes. Well, let's focus on what about the guy Marcel Reed's going up against, not against, but in C.J. Carr with pretty much zero experience, none. That's going into that game, that should be advantage A&M. Now, the question will be, is the Notre Dame defense light years ahead of A&M's? If that's the case, then you'd rather be in C.J. Carr's shoes. And that's a big if, because they lost a lot on defense as well. But my point is, if you're focusing on Marcel, it's fair to say I need to see what kind of jump he makes before I can get a real feel for what I think this team's going to be. Because I do think he's that important to it. But if you're going to do that, then hold Arnold and Carr and Lagway and all those guys. To me, I put Sellers and Nussmeier. I was more impressed with what Sellers did last year, and I don't know what the stats say. I just know what I watched. If that guy can hone in his passing a little bit more, he'll be. I mean, he's like, I don't know who he's like. I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of, but to me, he's the one that's that's actually scary. The other ones, like Marcel, have to get better and more consistent before they scare me.
With Lenoris, he scares me, but I don't know if the pieces around him scare me. LSU, the pieces around us scare me.
Does that O-line scare you?
No.
Okay, so
but I don't know enough about, they're new, right?
Well, they're trying to tell you they're good.
Right.
Because they're the same thing we get blamed for all the time from other fan bases. They're doing the same thing. People in Baton Rouge are convinced they have the best D-line in the country. And it's all from the portal, basically. And Dom McKinley, who is a 5-star recruit, and now is, he took a picture where he's closer to the camera and he looks a lot bigger. So everybody says, look at the gains he made. Gains with a Z, as you know. But they think that D-line's the best in the country because they just portaled the hell out of it. Okay.
It might be.
It probably isn't. It's probably not. And they'll tell you how great their interior O-line is, and that's it. They got their butts whipped in the trenches last year with a top 5 pick in Will Campbell, with another NFL draft pick at the other tackle spot. And in Baton Rouge, they will actively try to convince you that their O-line's just fine. And then they'll tell you that, we're getting told by other fan bases that the A&M O-line's not that good because there's not a first round. I mean, it's like, I think as a collective, we believe the nonsense from elsewhere and we shoot holes in the nonsense from within.
But do you understand the why?
No, I think it's a stupid way to be. I understand the why. I think it's a loser mentality. I despise it. I think it's pitiful. And it makes an off season. It makes for an unfun off season. And I also don't think it's and by the way, I'm not sitting here predicting them to go 10-2 and go to playoff. I'm not predicting Marcel to make this Heisman jump and be in New York. I'm not saying that the Aggie defense is going to be the best in the SEC. I'm saying none of those things. I'm just saying apply that same method to the opposition and don't believe everything you hear from these other talking heads at these other schools if you're not going to believe anything you hear from anyone, whether it's in this building or anyone covering Texas A&M. If it's positive, you meet it with skepticism. You meet it with the skeptical approach, and then you're going to say, well, but A&M's never done it. Okay, that's fine. If you're in Baton Rouge, you can say we've won 3 titles. It's different, right? I'd say, yeah, it's different. It was different 1 year of the 14 A&M's been in the SEC. Because otherwise they're losing 3+ a year. And you say, well, they beat us every. No, they don't. They won the first 6, and the last 7, A&M's up 4-3. And it's been a toss-up series, for the last seven years, going way back now. So the whole thing, I had somebody tell me yesterday, a good buddy of mine that follows it. He goes, I'm scared of South Carolina. I mean, they've been kicking our ass lately.
Twice in the last 3 years, but 2-2 the last 4.
And 2-2 the last 4, whatever, and 2 overall.
Also 9 games there.
A&M pummeled them 2 years ago here. So now we're, I just think people should, again, if you want this to be more enjoyable, if you want to be hopeful about it, apply your same stuff to other schools. And look, it's something that we talk about on the Moving Goalpost podcast, and I think Amanda makes a good point sometimes when I'm looking at Texas, and I'm probably got a little bit more scrutiny on them than Georgia, or I don't think Penn State, because I think Penn State's loaded, frankly, but Georgia and Ohio State in particular, the teams they play, because all 3 of them lose a lot. And Georgia and Ohio State actually lost a lot more on defense. Ohio State in particular losing to DC. They're one of those, I forget which one, I think Ohio State, one of those 2 O-lines are decimated. They both bring back quarterbacks, so if I want to sit here and question Arch Manning, what are we doing with Gunnar Stockton and Julian Sand? So I think as Aggies, it's easier for us to kind of apply that, although you got to kind of take the, they say maroon colored glass, you got to take the burnt orange hate glasses off a little bit, and you see that. But it's easier to analyze, like, I think A&M fans could talk more honestly about Bama because we don't play them than they can about worrying about the jump that Lagway makes, or that, hey, Auburn's got Cam Coleman and they got Singleton from Georgia Tech, which probably a lot of people don't know about. That dude's scary.
Yeah.
And you can worry about that more. And we haven't talked much about Austin Simmons. I think if A&M was playing Ole Miss and Austin Simmons, the talk would be Lane Kiffin and Austin Simmons, instead of going, dude, they're going to have a tremendous drop from having Jackson Dart the last 3 years. That's a dude, outstanding quarterback. And we can look at that and probably say that now, but if Ole Miss was on the schedule, everyone would be way more scared of Austin Simmons than Ole Miss fans would be about Marcel Reed. That's just how I feel. I've interacted with other fan bases. I read what they say. And I just think it's if you don't see a ton of toss-ups, if that's what you see, I agree with you. If you're scared of every damn team A&M plays and you go, I can't find the wins, then I just don't really have time for that over the next couple weeks as we lead into the season.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back with 25 and 25. Let's talk about insurance decisions that shouldn't be made in 15 minutes or less. That's why I go with the Rollo Insurance Group, somebody who knows my specific situation. They'll know your specific situation when it comes to expertise in everything from home to auto to business and specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide a tailored plan for your specific needs. They take time to explain every policy in plain language, ensuring that you're never left wondering about your coverage. This educational approach will empower you to make informed decisions, and many of their clients discover that they have a better protection at competitive rates simply because they finally understand their options. Experience the difference with Rollo Insurance. Their headquarters is here in College Station on Highway 6. Visit them at rolloinsurance.com, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up 888-44-ROLLO. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. Wow, Dave and Edmond took it serious. Like he took offense. He came right after the jugular. He's come at me too as well, I'm sure. Let's go back to the Angry Elephant Youth and Social Center. Nigrin, he knows how to get attention.
Yeah.
He came right out, and I don't know how Billy's going to respond. He might be despondent. I don't know.
Dave said, since I'm now the MOB, my question to all the optimists is, how many seasons of ridiculous injuries and unexplainable collapses and mediocre finishes will it take for you to be less excited? I guess 4 straight seasons of that is enough for me. How many does it take for you?
How excited am I when I just said, like,
None of us
I don't want to
predicted,
give away
yeah.
my prediction, but I'm still not to predicting a double-digit win season. I don't know the excitement level, but there is a level of hope. I don't know what – I mean, I always get excited for football season, but Dave and Edmond, you seem like a real grouch, a grumpy SOB, and you're making me grumpy. I'm trying to power through it and enjoy this coffee and enjoy my time with Nuño and the listeners. But Dave, you sound miserable to be around, to talk sports. I'm sure you're a great person day to day, but sports, you're a sports grump. I get what you're saying about the seasons and the disappointment. But again, if you can't look at last season and go, man, for first year, I'm going to get past the finish and really analyze the totality of the season. And I'm going to look at what they've got coming back. And I'm going to look at what they retained. And I'm going to look at what they brought in the portal. And I'm going to have a little optimism. Excitement. It's almost like when I hear that text, you think that anyone that's not in the absolute freaking tank like yourself that just goes, I'm going to expect more of the same. You act like these other people like myself or anyone else doesn't acknowledge the possibility that it could again be that 8-4 type season. And you hope that it's not worse. But we also acknowledge the difference between people like you and me is I can acknowledge the possibility for it to be better. Just like you're probably sitting there thinking that Florida's making a massive jump, Auburn's making a massive jump, South Carolina, you're ignoring all their losses on defense and just assume they're going to be a better football team. You're ignoring the impact of a guy like Rocket Sanders. LSU, you've got propped up because you've been told they're going to win the national title by media people that you don't even know anything about what their motives or anything are. You ignore the fact that LSU lost 4 games last year. One of them was right here at this freaking stadium, Dave, where the golden child threw 3 interceptions. And the quarterback you're worried about led the team to 31 second-half points. So, no, we're not sitting here predicting a national title or even an SEC title. But that doesn't mean you can't be a little optimistic about the upcoming season without you making comments that we've ignored what's happened in the past. It's just a miserable way to be a fan, and I think it's a miserable way to analyze football because, again, I'm trying to apply the same microscope. So to me, here are the teams, okay? You want to hear them?
Sure.
LSU, A&M, South Carolina, Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Am I forgetting anyone? Maybe Auburn if they make a climb up. Missouri, even. I just named 9 of the 16 teams, and I might be leaving one out. I would put Bama in there as well because last I checked, they lost 4 games last year. They lost 3 in the regular season. They lost to Vandy. They got humiliated by Oklahoma. Both of those are way worse than any. Well, I take that back. The Aggies lost to Auburn. They lost 2 of the Auburn-style games, okay? And put those 10 teams out of 16. I don't have Vandy in there. I don't have Kentucky in there. I don't have Mississippi State in there. I don't have Arkansas in there. And then I've got Georgia and Texas not that much above them. Not that much above them. So little that I don't think those will be the 2 teams playing in Atlanta. I think it'll be one of those 2 and somebody else. 10 teams, Dave. All of them have question marks. Very little of it has to do with the past. Certainly in A&M's case, you might want to think about what happened 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago Mike Elko was here 1 year. 1 year. This is year 2. Okay? And if you want to say, well, he lost these games at the end, say we can compare his first year to every other freaking coach currently in this league in their first year at their school. So we could do this all day, Dave, and I'm sure you will while I go about my day. But if you're going to be that miserable all the time, I would say find a collective group of miserable people. You can talk to them on TexAgs. Contrary to popular belief, you're allowed to. You don't get banned for that.
Hey,
so
I
now
think,
you can defend Dave.
No,
I'm not going to.
I'm not defending Dave.
I think a guy like that, those are the people that I see coming, and I make a wide-ass berth. I get as far away from people like that as possible.
What I was going to say is I think people like Dave.
Fans like Dave. I'm sorry, Dave.
Fans.
Not people like you. Fans like you. Sports people like you.
Sports humans like Dave. Use this as a defense mechanism to feel better if things feel. And also, I think it's a little bit of a character that they lean into, because why else would you listen to TexAgs every day?
Well, it's people that want to make fun of anyone with optimism. They just don't want anyone to. It's like you're the gatekeeper of hope. Whoa, 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 whoa! You stepped out of your lane of hope as an Aggie. We've got to pull you back in. Whoa, 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 whoa! How dare you talk about C.J. Carr versus Marcel Reed? Right. Because that could get into the realm where all of a sudden maybe you think the Notre Dame game is more of a coin flip than I do. Let me pull you back in here because we're losing that thing. And again, this is a thing where Dave can take this and A&M goes 8-4 or something, or they lose to Notre Dame, or Jackson Arnold comes in here and throws for 400 yards, and you go, see, I was right. No, you're not, because we're acknowledging that is certainly possible. It's possible for those 10 teams I said. Any one of them, in my opinion, could go 7-5 to 9-3.
Yeah.
And somebody in that group, and I don't know who it is going to go 10-2 this year. Last year was Tennessee. They weren't much better than anybody. Hell, they went and lost to Arkansas and Fayetteville.
I think
your miserable Aggies beat that team.
I think either Texas or Georgia goes 9-3 this year.
I could see it.
And I think Georgia's my more likely candidate.
Me too, because of schedule. And
I have more questions about Gunner than I do Arch, even though I have questions about Arch.
I do too. I agree with you.
Let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll actually do 25 and 25.
Enjoy your morning, Dave.
We'll talk a little Albert Regis. Hey, Dave, you're welcome to listen anytime, and also become a premium subscriber by going to texags.com. We'll be back. 25 and 25, presented by La Casa Tequila, raised in Aggieland, rooted in the SEC. Number 10 on the list is Albert Regis, Mr. Liucci.
What did y'all talk about this morning with Regis?
It was one line.
Really?
Mr. Consistency.
That's
guy you can depend on. That's basically what Mr. Consistency
I love
stands
Albert
for.
Regis's high school. I've thought this was a prospect I wanted to see A&M sign. The moment I saw his high school highlight tape at LaPorte, he was a later blooming recruit. That was a big head-to-head win. It wasn't really considered that big because of his ranking. He wasn't some 5-star, and this was a time period where A&M was signing a lot of 5-stars, but it was an important head-to-head battle with the Texas Longhorns for Albert Regis, and the Aggies won it. And this guy, I'm watching him as a tight end, H-back, catch fade passes down the field 40 yards, go up in the end zone and make these catches. It probably, I'd be willing to bet he was probably 250 plus at the time, 250. Now he's 300 plus. Looks like a refrigerator out there in pads. You know, you get those big square boxy pads on him and that helmet. He's not short, okay, but he's not you wouldn't call him a tall, rangy guy.
Right.
He's probably in that, I would assume, like real life, that 6'1" range, which is plenty optimal for a college interior D lineman. But it's the power. It's for a 300-pounder, the energy and effort that he plays with. A lot of times you don't get that down to down from guys that you get from Albert Regis. And he's a wildly popular guy within the team. I think he's a captain type guy. I don't think he wears the C, but he's a captain.
That personality, yeah.
Type guy in that locker room. He's a leader. He's a great story off the field. Character guy. You know, he's what you want in the uniform, but he also can play. You know, it's like sometimes you talk enough about some of these athletes off the field and people think you're like drifting away and spotlighting that because it exceeds what kind of player they are. That's not true. He's an NFL draft pick playing right now as a senior. Probably could have left early. I don't think he would have been a high round pick. But I know some of the scouts I talked to view him as somewhere in the middle of that draft. He's a ball player and has played a ton of football at A&M. And last year when everybody assumed it was going to be, hey, let's slide DJ Hicks, the 5-star, in year 2 to start alongside Shamar Turner. And that's what I thought would happen too until you start hearing about it in the spring. Like, hey, Albert Regis is going to be hard to beat out. And that's nothing against Hicks, who's now going to start, you know, and I think Hicks is going to have a breakout season, actually, and he's having a really nice camp. But Albert Regis, you know, that was a pretty significant starting job that he won last year. That wasn't handed to him. He had to earn that, and he went out and did, and then his play on the field backed it up. You look at statistically, he was good last year for an interior D lineman, but he's a grown man playing in there. You got a grown man, veteran mentality. And if A&M wins a lot of games this year, it's going to be because of players like him, Trey Zune, or Majay Reed-Adams, like that group of players, those veterans in the trenches that really set a tone. And quite frankly, he's going to have to be really good this year because he's surrounded by a lot of inexperience. So guys like him and Howell really need to step up and be not only leaders by example, but leaders with their play as well, because they've got to. So Reed is going to be an NFL pick. Cassius Howe is going to be an NFL pick. Those guys need to contend for all SEC honors if this team's really going to overachieve and be a contender out of the SEC.
A name that you were asked about on the boards that you mentioned to me a few weeks ago, we needed to talk about Solomon Williams. I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, I didn't. Now you've set it up awkwardly because I just wanted to make a quick comment, not like
we only have 2 minutes on the show.
Okay, well
that's a quick
more
comment.
Like 30 seconds.
Okay.
No,
I have follow-ups.
I've been impressed with him in camp. That's what I wanted to say. And it's a name I haven't written about, and I was thinking about it the other day when I was watching. Man, he looks good coming off the edge. He's got a little bend to him. He's quick. More so than that, he's quick and explosive off the edge and getting around the tackle. He's caught my eye multiple days out there, and I heard he had a good scrimmage as well. He's a guy that I just think we don't talk about enough, and he's one of those guys. I did allude to this last week. I said there are going to be players in the rotation on the field that are playing, in South Bend against Notre Dame, that you're going to be going, wait, I didn't expect, I didn't know he was going to be, you saw that earlier a couple of years ago with some of those young D linemen. Oh, I didn't know Malik Silla was going to be in the game in the fourth quarter. Solomon Williams, I think, will be one of those guys that you look up and you go, oh, I wasn't expecting to see him out there. Was that him that pressured the court? And he had a good bowl game, I thought, or I don't know if he had a good bowl game. He had multiple good plays in that bowl game. He flashed, and if you watch that USC game, you go, man, okay, he made a that's what he's doing at practice right now as well. So he's one that I just think was worth commenting on because I think I've overlooked him a little bit in my write-ups. I think we're going to see him on the field in the mix, let's say.
Let's check in with Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Mr. Nygren, I know we got some comments that have been coming through, so I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah. Dave, again.
Oh, no, we can move on.
Okay.
Anybody but
Is he still going?
Sports fans said, I don't think you can judge a coach until year 3. Transfer portal cut flipping programs in half. Used to take 4 years, now 2. You can only judge certain things like the organization of the program and their ability to hire good assistants.
Yeah. Can't argue that.
Agree with that.
Fun.
And it is sped up, too. Like this, I think all coaches know that. And that's the pressure they're under. And as the salaries go up and the speed at which you can transform a program changes with the portal and NIL, like the pressure on the coaches certainly goes up to get it done sooner than later.
Peruna in College Station, I just lost coffee in my lap. Listening to Billy's response to Debbie Downer, the good news is for non-Aggies, the Aggies are going to be in the right direction. And that's, I think, been our point.
Yeah.
They're trending in that direction. And if we use that same level of skepticism, if I can say that correctly.
Wow.
Yeah, I butchered that one. With our opponents that we do our own team,
yeah.
I think you can slice things up for
I think if you put the opponents under the same microscope that you're doing, you'll feel better about A&M's chances. That's all we're saying here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's a large group of teams that could finish with a disappointing 7-5 type of year and 3-5 in the SEC versus 9-3, or maybe they go into the last game saying, hey, if we win, we're probably going to be in the playoff. And that last year, that was one play away from being A&M going to play Texas at Kyle Field.
All right, that'll do it for TexAgs Live here on a Monday. By the way, just got confirmation, Trev Albert's in studio on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Billy will join me for that. It's TexAgs Live.